more monster books for you. So these are mostly, I'm going to focus now on making of movies, like, you know, behind the scenes information. This one right here, this is all about King Kong. King Kong by Ray Morton. This is a really, really great book for everything you'd want to know about the making of King Kong. So this is just amazing. I mean, the information in here goes really deep, and it goes past the first movie. It goes into Son of Kong, and it goes into the 70s remake, and King Kong versus Godzilla, all that. So it's very thorough. This here is the Making of Jurassic Park. This is a book I had since the movie came out, because they would always put these out when the movies would come out. And you know, this has some really good, it shows storyboards, you know, at the end. This is one of the first times I've ever seen storyboards. I don't think, when I was 13, I didn't even know what they were yet. So it was very educational for me. It shows a lot of great photos of them working on the animatronics and everything, and really great. I mean, this was just a milestone film for what it did in its day. And in the early 90s, this movie just changed everything. And then there's Footsteps in the Fog. Not really monster, but Alfred Hitchcock. I just thought I'd throw this in here. Is that I picked this book up when I was in San Francisco one time, which is where Hitchcock filmed a lot of his movies. And what's really cool about this is it just shows a lot of the locations and how he used them. And I was actually location hunting at the time for where he filmed a lot of these. So this was just a coincidence that I stumbled upon this. Then there's the Twilight Zone Companion. If you are a fan of the Twilight Zone, this is the book to get, because this tells you everything you'd want to know. See, I had this when I was like 15, I think. And that was when I was going through my biggest Twilight Zone phase. And it tells you, you know, a synopsis of every episode, but it also has behind the scenes information about it. And it goes season by season and tells you about, you know, different stuff that went on with the production. And so now I have The Making of White Zombie. This is a first zombie movie, 1932, and this is really interesting because I didn't know that there was such a fan base for this film until I found this whole book about it. And it's very thorough. It tells you all about not just the making of it, but it gives its own analysis. It actually analyzes the film and what it means, and it finds symbolism and all kinds of crazy things, and it goes so far that, like, I mean, I don't agree with all things it analyzes, but it's very interesting either way. So sometimes it's kind of hilarious how far it goes, but how much it reads into this little horror film, but it's really great. I mean, so if you really a niche thing, but if you're really a big fan of White Zombie, then you got to check this out. Oh, and this is From Silicone to the Silver Screen. This is The Making of the Blob. This is very, very informative. And this is by Wes Schenck, who is the caretaker of the Blob. He still has the slime from the film, and is an all-around historian who's, you know, put together all this information about the making of the film. So the definitive book on the Blob. So gotta check it out if you're a fan of the movie. And this is Grand Illusions by Tom Savini, one of the greatest makeup effects men, and shows all the horror films that he worked on and how he did a lot of the effects. Lots of great pictures, so if you wanted to know how he blew up heads and put machetes through people's faces and everything, I mean, this tells you all about how it's done. So this is like a whole school of special effects makeup all in one book. And he has more of these books too, so if you want to check it out, Grand Illusions. Oh, then there's Grindhouse. This is, you know, the Robert Rodriguez, Quentin Tarantino film. Well, it was released as a double feature. Only double feature I've ever seen in my lifetime. This is just fun either way, just to flip through and just see all the pictures in here. So I like the way it's all weathered and looks like the book is old and beaten up, just like a Grindhouse film. So you can't go wrong. It's visually a great book, but it also has lots of great information. So it tells you all about the post-production stuff and how they put together a lot of this stuff in this day and age of digital filmmaking. So it's good to see stuff that's really old school, and then it's good to see things that are cutting edge, and like how, you know, how Robert Rodriguez is always, you know, pushing the boundaries and making films quickly and efficiently, and, you know, making them awesome like this. So check it out.